the textbook in here, there's different types of APIs. So you've got private APIs. These are internal to enterprise and only used for connecting systems and data within the business. You've got public APIs, you've got partner APIs, composite APIs, and whatnot. And I'm going to give you a link here where you can go and read more about some public APIs. So this is basically APIs that people have developed that you can interact with. So here, there's a bunch of things that we can look at. So photography, jobs, and if I scroll down, you can see that you've got authorization, HTTPS, or CORS, which we haven't covered yet. But basically, if you see that auth is needed, so basically you have to register and get an API key in order to talk to that API. But for example, here, let's just take, so this random dog facts. So let's just take this one here. So if I click on it, and this takes me to the web page right here. And in here, if I basically take this link right here and then replace that in here, you can see that we get a JSON response, right? So basically we are getting a bunch of facts about dogs, right? And the URL is dogfactsapi.heroku.com/API version 1 resources, dogs, and an all. And here it's just giving me a bunch of facts about dogs. Now, obviously, you can take this data and then use it within your own application and build whatever you want. So similarly, if I go back in here and let's just experiment with, so you've got anime stuff. So if I keep on scrolling down, you've got a bunch of things, especially icons as well. If you want like a weather app, so basically it's here, Quran, really good, Google Analytics, MailChimp, and you've got a bunch, right? And also have a look, Stripe. So Stripe is basically a platform that allows you to collect money from your website. So they make it super easy and you don't need to know about how to implement this from scratch. And they give you an API that you can use in order to start collecting money within your mobile apps or web apps or desktop applications. So here, if I go to full API reference, you can see that they have a bunch of documentation. So on balances, customers, payment methods, so here, products, checkouts, and whatnot. Also, Gmail, have a look. So if you want to build an application that allows you to send emails, well, you can use Gmail API. So here, you can see that I can click on overview and basically you can get an overview, but basically you can view the documentation in here. And if we have a look at the send email example, so here you can see that this is actually in Java, but they give you an API that allows you to build applications that make use of emails. So this is actually an SDK in here, but you can also access their API. And when I mean SDK, I mean that these are like classes that you kind of import and then just use them, or you can basically connect through their API using HTTP, and they'll have the URL, authorization, and everything that you needed to get started. But basically, so here we kind of have this API in here, which currently doesn't do much. But if you've taken the Java Masterclass course where we built this CLI application, where if I say 2 in here and then press enter, you can see that I get a list of cars in here and users. So I can select the user ID, for example. So I'm just going to paste that, and basically it says user not found. Currently this is a CLI application, but I could actually expose this as an API that you yourself, basically, if you want to use my application to book cars, so if you want to build something on top of my application that allows car bookings, then you can. So these are public APIs. So here on the textbook, we have a section on different types of APIs. So here, so these are public API. So these are open to the public and might be used by anyone. There may or not be some authorization and cost associated with these APIs, right? If you want to use Stripe, they'll basically take a cut of the sales that you make. So I think it's like 0.025%, and it's not that expensive, to be honest. You also have partner APIs, which are accessible by authorized external developers to aid business to business partnerships. Composite APIs, so these combine two or more different APIs to address complex systems requirements or behaviors. So you'll end up doing this as well quite a lot. And also private APIs, which basically is what we are interested as well. So if you're building microservices, for example, so later you learn about microservices. So microservices, you'll build private APIs that allows one microservice to consume data and vice versa. If you have any questions on this, please do let me know. But what I suggest is for you to go and have a read on this page. And by the way, I took this from AWS because it was well structured. Yeah, it's just very interesting and easy to read for you to learn what is exactly an API. But as I said, throughout this course, you will fully have an understanding of how to build APIs.